Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, Jared. How are you?
You know, I'm doing pretty good.
I love that.
Nobody's asked me today.
I love that for you. I love that for you.
I love that for you. I like that for me,
Yeah.
I suppose. Now, this week, we had Mardi Gras,
Yep.
which we were on a live stream, and I was like, I don't even really know. Like, I know of Mardi Gras, but I'm like, what is Mardi Gras? Like, I know Fat Tuesday. Apparently, I was unaware that it was like to do with like Lent. I was like, oh, I feel like what Mardi Gras has become is way off track.
Well, the whole like the parade and the beads and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's gotten a little off track, I'd say.
Yeah.
I was unaware. I read. I was like, oh, okay. So I was unaware about that. So I guess happy Mardi Gras to people that celebrate. Do people celebrate Mardi Gras? Or do they just party?
I think I
Like,
don't know.
Is it like Christmas?
I don't think so.
I don't either. It's just I don't know how that goes. I just think of New Orleans and Mardi Gras. I didn't know any. I'm uneducated on Mardi Gras, other than having gone to some theme park stuff with Mardi Gras. I don't know.
Sure.
Anyways, happy Mardi Gras this week. That was this week. And in not so great news, we have to change our clocks yet again this coming weekend. So we lose an hour, which I am already not happy about.
I mean, when you're a parent,
it is the worst with kids. Yeah, it's like as an adult, it's annoying.
Yeah.
And then with kids, it like completely messes up everything, and then they don't sleep good for like 2 or 3 days.
You know, our kids they're getting older, so for them, it's not as much of a big deal. I mean, when they were real young, like it was a thing. Like babies, yes. Toddlers, yes. I mean, our kids are 8 and 5 now, so
Don't remind me.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, yes, an hour is gonna mess with them a little bit, but maybe not as much. They're getting older.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you keep
I'm sorry.
repeating
I keep
that.
repeating that. I
know.
should stop. I'm so sorry.
I feel like now I'm older.
I'm so sorry. I know we're all older.
Yeah,
everybody's older.
We were older than we were when we started this show. That's for sure. No,
that's for sure.
I like more daylight.
Yes,
me
too.
Definitely like that. Can we just stop from going forward? No more changing the time. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants it. I know there's some arguments for it. Whatever. Let's just leave it alone.
I'm all for that. I love more daylight.
I just don't like losing the hour.
The thing is, okay, if we were to keep the clocks as they are, where it's once we change, they go spring forward here on Sunday. If we kept it that way and made it to where in the summer, it's not dark until like 9:30 or whatever it is.
I love that, by the way. I remember as a kid, I would stay outside till like literally 9 o'clock or 9:30 and then have to go. Oh, that was the best.
Yeah.
Go on, continue.
If we do it that way, then by the time we get to like winter, then it's maybe a little bit lighter later in the day, but it's dark for a really long time in the morning.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
But the dangers of that is for like thinking about like kids going to school in the morning. Like a lot of them like go to school at like 7. And there's no sun at 7 a.m.
We'll give them some blinkers. There's things we can do to solve this problem. Listen,
Okay.
I'm just going to speak for everybody here, and I'm just going to let's come up with solutions here. All right.
I would love a solution where we don't have to do the clock thing.
All the kids,
but I don't know how that would
wear
work.
those like DJ outfits, have the light up helmets and stuff like that, and they're like blinking, and no one's going to miss them. They're going to see like, oh, there's a bunch of children there. It looks like a rave party going on the corner, waiting for the bus.
Okay, sure.
And it would be festive.
Or stop having schools start school so early in the morning.
That's true. That too. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Agreed. All right.
I think high school here doesn't start until like almost 9 p.m. 9? Is it 9?
You mean 9 a.m.?
Well, sorry, yeah. 9 p.m.
Night school. Those are for
high schoolers would love that.
Those are for the bad kids. They go to night school.
No.
It was like, what was it, night court? They got night school.
Court.
Yeah, if you're going to night school, yeah, you probably have made some decisions. At least in high school. I'm just saying. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't think they start till like, I think it's 9 a.m. or close to 9 a.m. I don't know what it is, but it's like the latest that anybody starts around here.
Well, we're not just going to talk about Mardi Gras and daylight savings, although could make for a good, that would be a very limited podcast run. You have like 4 episodes and then you're like,
we're done.
That topic's been That topic's done. Yeah. Not every topic has an ongoing theme, I suppose.
Yeah.
This one does, though.
Yeah.
So today, there's not a lot of news.
Yeah.
Very, very short on the news.
Yeah.
But we do have Flower and Garden that has started. So we have a 2025 guide to the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival.
We got some new stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So we're going to guide you through this. We will be your tour guides.
You just say guide one more time.
Sometimes I don't realize I say the words as many times until you bring it up.
You say guide, or YouTube when you do the housekeeping. If you want to watch us on TV, you haven't seen us on TV, you should go to YouTube.
I'm trying to subliminally put into your brain YouTube, okay? It's part of my overarching plan here, okay? I also put things in, when you guys are listening, there's things in there you don't know about that you're like, Jared is a cool guy, and you don't know why. It's
like Michael Scott when he's trying to convince David Wallace that he should be the manager over Jim, and he starts saying the word manage a lot.
True.
It's like, I'm sure I can manage that. This is Michael Scott,
Listen, Michael Scott had his ways about him.
Not the worst idea.
Not the worst.
Not the worst.
Not the worst. But
anyway.
Also, I have no segue. I was going to do something off the worst, but I have no segue.
So random.
Other than before we get to the news, just want to remind everybody, like Jamie said, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have hit over 500 subs over here on the new podcast channel, so that's exciting. We'll probably start doing some live streams because once you hit 500, you can open up new things. I don't know. It lets you do extra stuff. So just, subscribe and like this video. And if you're not watching us on YouTube and you would like to, you can find us over at CTM Podcast on YouTube. And over there, we have video versions of the show. We have show clips and things like that. So if you'd rather watch it versus listen, you can do that. And if you'd like to listen on the good old trusty audio podcast form, where, it's been around long before, I don't know. It's been around a long time. You can find us on all the major platforms. We're on all of them that I am aware of. At Capture the Magic Podcast, ask you to please subscribe and leave us a review. We'd greatly appreciate that. Helps us continue to grow the show. And of course, if you'd like some fantastic theme park apparel, perhaps you want to celebrate Mardi Gras or just at your house, going to theme parks, what do you want to do? You can go to Capture the Magic Apparel at ctmapparelco.com, and we have the comfiest shirts you will find. We use comfort colors, next level, hoodies, sweatshirts, whatever you want, we can print on. We have brand new designs in the shop, always updating those. We print everything in-house, so it's the best quality that we can do, and then Jamie ships them out to you. So I print them, Jamie ships them out, and that's all done with love. It's a great way to contribute to the show if you would like to do that as well. So again, go to ctmapparelco.com, and you can use the promo code. I'm just going to go with March. All right. For being a podcast listener, you get 15% off of your order. Plus, if you order $50 or more, you get free shipping on top of that. So basically, don't lose money on this deal. Okay. Just go use it. So use the promo code March, and you will save 15% off of your order at ctmapparelco.com. So go check it out over there.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get to our one and only news story. Because like we said, it's very light on the news. And I didn't really feel like making up rumors.
No, we
I know
shouldn't
some
start any
places
rumors.
do that. I'm not really I don't really care to do that. If I had any rumors that were legitimate, I would tell you, but I don't. So the first and only story we have is that Blizzard Beach is still fighting with Typhoon Lagoon. That war is ongoing. And Blizzard Beach is celebrating its 30th year this year.
It's anniversary. So throughout April, the water park will have special dance parties, anniversary food and drinks, and, quote, family-friendly games with cool prizes such as snowflake tattoos, wintry-themed rubber ducks, and snowy bubbles, end quote. Specifically on April 1st, which is the first day that starts, there will be high-energy DJs spinning some toe-tapping tunes on the deck near the Polar Pub, and fun interactions with Mickey and Minnie decked out in their winter attire. There's even going to be a snowman bowling and character-themed tubes for floating down Cross Country Creek.
Did they need to put in high-energy DJ? I feel like a DJ is usually they're usually high energy. Were there questions about the DJ's energy level? Like, we got a DJ. Is he low energy though? And they're like, no, we'll put high energy.
So in addition to this, since it's going through April, it will be ending on April 30th. Then it closes for the season, and Typhoon Lagoon reopens May 1st.
Well,
now I have a comment about this.
Okay.
Besides the games, the tattoos and stuff that they mentioned, this is the H2O Glow Nights.
I was thinking that. Because they haven't announced any of those that they're doing.
It's very similar. Like, so it has a DJ, it has a dance party, it has the characters going around, it's got the character themed tubes. The only thing is like the free popcorn and drinks that they have at H2O Glow. But there's a little bit more to this, but just giving you an idea, like this is the same kind of like vibe, except for it's during the day.
Yeah.
So, sounds like fun. And cool thing about it is if you stay on property, that first day, your check-in day, you get to go there for free. So might as well check it out if you're going in April.
Yeah, it's true. That's such a strange perk. The day you check in,
Well,
you get into the water park for free, but only on the day you check in. But on your same trip, if you have, like, say you're switching hotels, on the first day of all your check-ins, you could technically get into the water parks for free. Mm-hmm. So it's a perk. I've always felt it's one. I wonder how many people know about it before they go.
I don't know.
I feel like locals will take advantage of it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people
like us.
Right. I feel like people that get in on they check in the evening and they're like, oh, you could have, like, that's the thing. If you don't check until late, like, you can't even do it the next day. I don't think.
There's a lot of confusion. So there's a lot of people that say that if I have a late flight, let's say they don't get in until after midnight to the hotel, like they don't even arrive until after midnight, their room is still reserved for that day or that, day before, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that day before, it's gone. Like you can't just retroactively put the free day the next day just because you weren't there.
I feel like it'd be a much more simpler system just to be like, you get a free day at the water park if you want when you stay on property.
But that's the thing. Like, this is the perceived value kind of thing. Like,
I get it.
Oh my gosh, a free water park day when I check in. Well,
but you could still have that where you get a free water park day if you want to use it.
I don't think they want to give that out.
Well, I don't think they do either, but it's an interesting, like, it is a perk that you can take advantage of, but I do wonder how many people know about it and will actually utilize it, but it is there.
I mean, if you're taking a really early, like an early morning flight, which there's a lot of people that do that, I would say that unless you get in before like 2 p.m., it wouldn't be worth it to you.
Right, because they close at 5?
I mean, 5, 6...
Yeah.
Maybe 7. It just depends on the time of year you're going.
Right.
But right now they open, they're open not that late. So
right. Now here's a question. Mm-hmm. So since COVID, there's been the battle of the water parks. They're fighting and they don't want to be open at the same time.
Right.
Do you think that they will ever open both at the same time? Or do you think we're looking at a scenario where perhaps one of the water parks they do away with? Because I think clearly by having one open at a time, they at least don't perceive there's enough demand for both of them open.
That seems to be the case. Obviously, demand isn't there for both at the same time. It does
seem to be the case.
So you're asking if I think they will get rid of one of them? Like just
do you think
close it forever?
I mean, potentially. I don't know. It's a strange thing to have them flip-flop. To me, like when you have both of them, like it's kind of an odd thing to see, like that just goes back and forth, but it does allow you to refurb one in the off season. So like, I guess each of them are they've been freshly refurbed and cleaned and all that stuff each time that they're open. But it's one of those things I'm very curious about it. Cause at one point they had, obviously before COVID, they had them both open at the same time. Mm-hmm. Now I don't recall the demand. Like I don't recall how busy they were. We didn't really we're not big water park people. So I don't recall how busy they were. Like I'd say 2018, 2019.
In the 90s, water parks were insanely busy because that's why they built the second one. And for a while it was Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach, and River Country.
They had 3.
That's true. But River Country was open not only seasonally for a while, and then it closed, didn't reopen after.
Brain-eating amoebas. What are amoebas?
Amoebas.
That'll do it.
So, there's not a higher need for it now versus then when Blizzard Beach was built. Typhoon opened in 89. Blizzard Beach was in 95. So what they could do if they want to just keep one and get rid of the other one is keep one of them open that they want to get rid of. Let's say they keep Blizzard and they're like, you know what? We're not going to use Typhoon again anymore. We're just going to put all of our money and refurbs into Blizzard Beach. We're going to add on, we're going to make it better and improve it. They keep Typhoon open and then close Blizzard Beach and then just work on it for a couple of years or a year or whatever, how long it takes, and then open it forever and then close that other one for good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a way to do it if they want to like improve on one of the parks specifically, like hone in on it. But do they need 2 parks right now? No.
See, I don't think they'll do that because I don't think any of their focus is on the water parks.
I agree. You're right. I don't think it is either.
They're going to put all their money and everything into the actual theme parks.
Right.
It's curious to me because, I mean, if you think about it, you know, the attendance numbers, like the raw numbers, they've never recovered their attendance since like 2019 was almost the peak. Then COVID.
It feels like it, yeah.
And then the attendance hasn't recovered in the parks, but, you know, they're making more money because they're charging for things that used to be included. Yeah. So I wonder if part of it is just they don't have the sheer amount of people coming as much. And I don't know the percentages of how many people that come to Disney go to water parks. It's probably not that high. I mean, not a lot of people talk about going to the water parks. So it makes me just wonder what if they just continue. I mean, they could just continue this where they go back and forth. It's just kind of odd because it's just like you don't know which one's open. Like, you won't necessarily know. But
well, here's just a stat for you. I've done Trip Tales. I think I'm in 90 or 89 of them, and I can probably count on one hand how many people went to like one of the water parks.
Yeah, I mean, we don't go that much. We've been once or twice.
I mean, we don't have it as an add-on to our APs, so we can't just willy-nilly go. But now with the perk of it being, you know, free for check-in day, you know, when we're staying on property, we can go more often.
Right.
So, like you said, people like us, locals, it's great. It's a good perk.
For sure. It's just it's a very interesting thing with the water parks is kind of having that flip-flop there, but yeah. I would guess probably in the next, like if you're thinking long term, 10 to 20 years, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them shut down. And like you said, maybe like Blizzard's the newer one.
Yes.
So maybe Typhoon's open for 2 years. They add some rides into Blizzard, kind of make it on maybe closer to the level of, say, Volcano Bay. Because I think in terms of water parks, Volcano Bay is far superior. It's a fantastic water park. And I'm not a huge water park person personally.
Yeah.
So they could do that and then just close down the other one and have one park. They could. But I would be surprised in, say, the next 10 years if they're both still around. Because I just feel like there's just not a need for it.
I agree.
But this is not a focus right now. So,
yeah, I agree.
Well, anyways, that's what's going on with the water parks.
Yes.
That was your water park minute.
Okay.
And that is the only news that we have.
Yeah, that's the only thing we're going to focus on this week because, you know, a lot of it was flower and garden stuff, which that's coming next.
That is coming next. That's very true. I mean, other than just some random permits and things that are around, there's nothing exciting.
There was like a little glimpse into the Pirates of the Caribbean lounge, but it wasn't like, it's just framing. And it's like, this is where this is going to go. And I don't know, like there's not really much to say there.
I will say, I don't understand. Yeah, they did that peak and it was like, well, you remember those, a couple of years ago, it was like, follow me and day in the life of a Facebook employee. And it was like these girls is showing you they're not doing anything all day and how great their life was. And you're like, I hate you and I don't know you. Yeah. They did like the imagining they followed around like this woman and it was just like a day in the life of what she's doing. But it was like with Test Track. But it wasn't like anything about Test Track. It was just like, here's what an Imagineer does, which is fine. But I feel like I'd rather just know more. Like, I don't, personally speaking, it's just like I'd rather know what's going on with Test Track. So they are kind of showing some stuff here.
They're showing a little bit.
A little bit. Mm-hmm. So they are giving some, they Test Track, which we don't know a lot about Test Track, but that one is presumably unscheduled. And
I did like the one that they did the little spotlight on this cast member because she used to work at Pirates of the Caribbean as like a frontline cast member, like on the actual ride. Mm-hmm. And now she's worked her way up into Imagineering.
Right.
And now she's working on developing that lounge. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really cool. So I think that is what they were focusing on. But the lounge is just like a backdrop to that. Like, oh, okay, right. There's also a little glimpse.
Because they didn't really give any new information about the lounge itself.
Not really.
Yeah. So
a little bit, but
yeah, other than that, no news really. So we're gonna move on to your guide to the Flower and Garden International Flower and Garden Festival.
Yeah.
I always forget. I don't want to it's international.
International.
Not just national. So some information. The festival takes place March 5th through June 2nd. at Epcot, as you might guess. Festival celebrates horticulture, and all things gardening.
Pretty much. I mean, that's focus.
Yeah.
Flowers and gardening and strategies and
What strategies?
of how to garden.
Oh, all
I
right.
know. I know lots about
I
gardening,
missed the strategy
which
booth
is
that they
not
had.
true. I know.
Of course, they have outdoor kitchens, as all the festivals do. You can, eat different foods around the world, different stuff like that. Not a lot of, in the World Showcase, not a lot of new foods. We talked about foods last week.
Yeah, we had a foodie guide. We looked at the foods that were available for the festival last week. So if you want a little preview of that, you can go back and listen to last week's episode. But yeah, no food talk today.
We already talked about it.
We're
not going to repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
Like my parents used to say. We also had the thing that differentiates this festival from others is they have a bunch of topiaries. And these are created by horticulturists. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not a horticulturalist. I can't say the word now. I said it first. I should have stopped when I had it. I think I said it right the first time.
You did.
They are created by a team that do this. And so what are some of the new topiaries created by horticulturists this year?
First of all, these topiaries are freaking amazing. So I just not discount the amount of work that goes into these.
Who was discounting any? I wasn't discounting.
I know. No one's discounting.
I said horticulturists.
I'm just saying you're being a silly goose. Okay, so
disagree. Go on.
New this year is a Moana, Maui, Pua, and Hei topiaries at the entrance into the park. So when you first walk in, you'll see them kind of standing in the area where all of the festival stuff is. It's like right in front of Spaceship Earth and like
you mean everybody
fountain.
Gathers and you can't get in after
Everyone
you get into
gathers,
the park?
Yeah. Yes. There's like a little straw hut with all the characters standing in front of it. There's flower torches kind of right beside it. And then Moana's leaning on an oar from her boat. It's pretty cute. And I think Hei is standing on Pua. Because of course.
Of course.
And what I saw, it looked good. So it looked great.
You know what I thought was weird is Pua. I only know this because we've seen Moana when our daughter was little, like 5,000 times.
Yeah.
As much as Pua was shown as like merchandise and like they would put Pua in things, he was literally in the movie for like 5 minutes.
He didn't get showcased that much, did he?
No, not at all. But he's always in stuff. But he literally is hardly in the movie.
I know.
It's very strange.
And then also just a couple of other topiaries that are notable, I guess. So Groot was new last year. He is back this year, and he's moved a little bit closer to Test Track. Phineas and Ferb, they're back after 8 years. They've been gone for 8 years, and they're back, and they're near Communicore Plaza.
Is there like a resurgence of, because they keep
There
having
is.
the meet and greets that always have really long lines. Like Phineas and Ferb was a pretty good cartoon. Like I always enjoyed it, but I feel like it's had a bit of like maybe it's that time period of like something goes away and it comes back. It's gotten like a lot more popular for like everything.
I think I don't know about you. Maybe you watched it and I didn't or something, but I feel like I was a little too old for that when it was on. Like just slightly. Because I feel like there's like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, or years after us, there's a group of people that were like really into it.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are really like, oh my gosh, Phineas and Ferb.
I mean, it came out in 2007.
Okay.
So
I was 23.
yeah, it may have been a little bit past our time.
I mean, I was in my 20s. So I guess if you were like a teen or younger, maybe you would have liked that. But yeah, it's just a little after my time as what I would have enjoyed. But anyway, so it is back, and you can find that near Communicore Plaza. And then another favorite of mine, I like Belle and the Beast in France by the fountain. Always a good one. And then Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They're always in Germany. And then Tiana, beautiful dress in America. I think those are probably my favorites. What about you? Do you have any favorite topiaries?
You know, I can't say I've ever had a favorite topiary. I will say in years past, like the Lightning McQueen one was cool.
That's been so long.
Like the Buzz Lightyear one, and they had a Woody one.
Oh, that was cool. Amazing.
Yeah. But typically speaking, in my day-to-day life, I don't usually have a favorite topiary, but they are very well done. I will say I'm not knocking topiaries or Wait, what are they called? Hold on. I know this. Horticulturists.
Horticulturist.
I don't want to.
I think the Lightning McQueen one was in like 2019. That was the last time.
It may have been. That one was really.
It was
well
probably
done.
in 2022, 2020 as well. But the festival only lasted like 2 weeks, so and then it shut down.
True.
So I don't know. I don't remember.
It's very true.
But yeah. So those are some topiaries you can check out, but they are all over the park.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are on a lot. They actually showed up a little early this year.
Really early.
So they've been around the park for a while if you've been at Epcot. So,
Yeah.
but now they're officially part of the festival. But
Yeah.
They also have some gardens.
Yeah, gardens. There are many gardens spread throughout the park, including the Butterfly Landing, which is the butterfly houses where all the butterflies are.
That would make sense.
We love going in there. Well, I know I do. I don't know about Jared. I'm not going to speak for him.
I'm not against them,
But all...
I feel like I'm being slandered against all things herbology.
Herbology.
Horticulture.
Oh, goodness.
I'm trying to say this word. I keep forgetting it.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Like I can't say I butterflies are fine.
Jared's never going to say, guys, I want to go watch the butterflies.
He's
He's never going to say that.
I've never been like, I've never gone on my way, but our daughter enjoys it.
Yes, our son does too. But there's also that, and then Blossoms of Fragrance by Scentsy. That's the one where it smells really good. And then the floating gardens in the pond. That's always a crowd pleaser. New this year, we have an Inside Out 2 Emotion Garden. And
what does that mean?
So it's in the beginning of the walkway between Imagination Pavilion and World Showcase, and it's basically like it looks like the planters are different colors that represent like anger and fear and joy.
So you go through
and the colors of the flowers.
I thought you meant like it was going to make you feel emotions.
No, they're just trying to relate the flowers to the emotion.
Because I would like to see like welcome to the anger garden, and it's just everyone just gets angry in there.
That would be terrible. But anyway, so that is there. There's also Play Along Bay Playground, which is technically a garden to them, on the Imagination Walkway, which looks pretty cool. I'm sure we'll spend a lot of time there when we visit.
Yeah, well, the 2 playgrounds. So
they have
kids,
2, yeah.
Kids are going to have their go of it, which is probably good because Epcot is not the most, especially during the festivals, not the most kid-friendly. Like our kids get very bored of it.
See, I disagree with that a little bit. I think it is kid-friendly. I think our kids specifically are like, they would rather go to a different park.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, most kids don't really want to walk around World Showcase eating foods and looking at topiaries. Kids want to like go. That's all I'm saying.
There's also a new garden in France, so you can check that out as well. But there's literally a garden in every country, sometimes 2. There's a ton located in the World Celebration area, nature and discovery. So literally just walk around the park and you'll find a garden.
They're there's a lot of them.
For real, but they're beautiful.
If you can't find topiaries or gardens here, I don't know what to tell you.
I have to say, out of all the festivals, I think this one is the most, I guess it's the most beautiful. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, sure.
Like picturesque. Like you can get some really beautiful pictures from all the
it has
flowers and...
Yeah.
I would say that.
Sure.
Not Food and Wine. That's not one.
You are really down on Food and Wine.
Guys, I don't care for Food and Wine. Like compared to the other 3, it is my last. It is last.
What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. You want to hear what happened? You want to hear what happened?
They overstayed their welcome.
Listen, Food and Wine is bare bones. It's bare bones. It doesn't have topiaries. It doesn't have any festival art. It doesn't have any like the narrators in the countries like it does in the festival holidays or Candlelight Procession or whatever. It's just food and drinks and nothing else. They took out everything that made it special, like the wine and cheese like seminars, the cooking demonstrations, Party of the Senses is gone. They used to have a tasting sampler. What happened to that?
Well, this is true.
I'm just saying. Besides that, it's very similar to the other stuff that the festivals offer, like the scavenger hunts and the food strolls and the food booths and all this stuff. But besides that, it's just not my favorite. It's the bottom. It's the bottom.
Okay.
I feel like I'm justified in that, though.
You're not wrong. I mean, yeah. I mean,
It's
a lot
also
of
the hottest time of the year.
well, there's that too.
Also.
At least they're not running it into August. Or what was it into part of July a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
That's
it started in September.
Walking around World Showcase in the middle of July eating hot soups. Can't say that's something.
I hated that. I hated that. But anyway, so moving on.
Well, I agree with your take on Food and Wine. It is. I mean, it was the
rant.
It was the OG one. So I think it's just the one. All the other ones kind of took the concept and then added different things to it. So
was it the OG?
Wasn't it?
Was it?
I feel like it was.
I think that was. I think Flower and Garden's OG because it used to be at Downtown Disney.
Well, yeah, I just mean like in Epcot. I think that was the original festival at Epcot.
Oh, probably.
I believe.
Yeah.
But if I'm wrong, then
you're wrong.
Edit it out of this, and no one will ever know.
Okay.
Just kidding. All right. Well, the next thing that the festival have is the Garden Rocks concert series, where you can catch.
Are you from Boston?
That's why
Garden Rocks.
We have listen. A lot of people from the show are in Boston.
I know.
Okay.
It makes you think of Chris from Club 32.
Eric as well.
Eric, yes.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
the Boston comes. That's fine.
Yes.
The Garden Rocks concert series.
Yes.
You can find standouts like Air Supply, Rick Springfield,
Heck yes,
Sugar Ray.
Oh yeah.
Simple Plan. 98 Degrees.
Say what?
I feel like it needs to say 98 Degrees featuring Nick Lachey.
No. They're all good.
Okay.
They're all good.
Plain White Tees.
And more. And just a reminder, the weekends is when you're going to have the featured artists like this. The weekdays, you're going to have like local Orlando bands come in. So the more well-known bands are on the weekend.
They're going to get their big break at Epcot.
You never know.
You could.
You never know. Performances are at 5:30, 6:45, and 8 o'clock every day. And dining packages are available starting at $36 for adults. And that's at Regal Eagle. And that's the only quick service dining package available. Otherwise, the price shoots up to at least $55, I think, a person. So it's pricey.
If you really want to see Rick Springfield, though, you'll pay that price.
You know what?
Maybe you can eat with Rick Springfield. Maybe he gets a meal before he performs. You never know. Although I couldn't tell you what Rick Springfield looks like. He's on his, I've heard his name forever, and I couldn't tell you a song. If I saw a picture of him, I'd have no clue it was him. But I've heard the name Rick Springfield for most of my life. Probably from my dad, because my dad was an old 80s rocker type guy.
Didn't he have long hair?
Probably. I'm sure if you have the name
hair.
Rick Springfield, you're going to have some I'm assuming long hair. Yeah, I mean he's got it's medium length.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how I pictured him. Sorry, we're looking at a picture of him right now.
I'm trying to figure out what he's saying Jesse's Girl.
Jesse's Girl, yeah.
Yeah.
That's his claim to fame.
All right, well.
By the way, I'm going to go on a tangent a little bit.
Oh.
I showed Jared a video of Kelly Clarkson covering Your Love on her show. And Jared was like, "This is really good." It's an 80s song, too.
Wait, what is that?
Because Rick Springfield's from the 80s.
Right. Are you just saying I didn't have much of
it.
a reaction to what you showed me?
No, I was just thinking oh man, it'd be cool if she could come and sing a bunch of songs, including Jesse's Girl would be cool. She should sing Jesse's Girl.
She could, yeah. I guess you could talk to whoever books people at Epcot.
Yeah.
She's a talented singer, that one.
I used to think it was called, he was singing, "I Wish That I Was Jesse's Girl." And I was like, I don't think that's what he's saying.
It's a slanderous song, really.
I was a kid, though.
He's wanting his friend's girlfriend. Which is
right.
Calm down, man.
Calm down.
Let's not write a song about this. I feel like there's a Jesse out there went like, that?
Is he talking about Jesse and Aunt Becky?
I don't think so. I doubt it.
All right.
Maybe. Anyways, you can catch the concert series, the Garden Rocks concert series.
Okay.
That is there. You also have Communicore Hall exhibit. Mm-hmm. And it's a gallery that celebrates 30 years of the festival with colorful flower displays, illustrations, photographs from years past, just random people in there, just whatever, and information about Disney horticulture.
And this is new.
This is what they're using the Communicore Hall for, which is,
yes.
That's what it was made for, I suppose. But
and it is super themed in there. The tables, the ceiling, the floor are all flower and garden themed.
I feel like they finally got the message to do things with the walls in there.
Even though it's clearly decals that are down, clearly, that's okay. that's okay. I'm okay with that. They do have some flower displays up that kind of spread around. They have displays of like what they're talking about with history in the background of how they create these things within the team and all that. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here, including the Farmer's Feast outdoor kitchen is located in here as well. So it's a good use of space. I think this is kind of what they were trying to convey, like they wanted to do, and it just took them a little bit to actually get there. That makes sense.
Or they hit. I mean, I think some of it was the
or
feed.
People,
I think a lot of it was the
them.
feedback of like, this is it, and then they're like, oh.
Guys.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what it was designed for. I still think it's kind of a small space for what was initially shown, but it is. They have like they have in the Festival of the Arts. They had like the Broadway,
the Disney on Broadway thing. Yeah. So definitely, definitely better use of space than it did when it first opened. And so I'm glad that's being utilized for sure. For sure.
Yes. There's also scavenger hunts that you can do. So you have Spike's pollination exploration, and you find Spike the bee pollinating around the parks.
As bees do. And it's $9.99 for the map and the stickers. So as you find Spike, you find where he was located, and you put the sticker on the map. You turn in the completed map to get a prize.
You can also just get the prize when you buy the map, too.
That is true. And the prizes this year are small watering cans. You can choose from Mickey, Spike the Bee, Orange Bird, and the Caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
Who are you? That's from Alice in Wonderland.
God, I didn't know where you... Okay.
That's the Caterpillar.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen Alice in Wonderland.
What did he say? It's been a long time.
I can't even hardly recall. I know of the movie. I can't recall much from it.
Who are you? And he's smoking. He has a hookah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He likes to party.
That Caterpillar, I'll tell you what. Anyway, so fun scavenger hunt. We like doing this. Our kids like doing this.
They like to find things. That's true. Our daughter's very task-oriented, so yeah.
Yes.
Give her a task to do, and she will do it. She doesn't like us to buy she likes to find them all and then go get the gift.
Yes.
She doesn't like the shortcuts.
Absolutely.
Which I like that. I respect that. Mm-hmm. Then they also have the Egg Extravaganza, which is a big character Easter. They have big Easter eggs that are characters. Yeah. You can go find.
This hasn't started yet. Usually they give you about depends. A couple weeks of this. Now Easter's not until April 20th, I think. So they probably won't start this until April. But it's available during the festival.
Yes. This is true.
Yeah.
And the next part, I will let Jamie take over because I can add nothing to this conversation.
All righty.
I would just say, they do, is the merchandise aspect. So
merchandise. So there are three, I guess 4, you could say, main collections this year. And they feature items like spirit jerseys, mugs, tumblers, lounge flies, mouse ears, hats, pins, etc. But unique to this particular festival, you're going to find watering cans, planters, gardening stakes, and other gardening tools and supplies. So they have an Orange Bird collection, they've got a Spike the Bee collection, and they have an Alice in Wonderland collection, as well as pass holder items, which you could call another collection if you want. The Orange Bird collection will also have Dooney and Burke line. And there's a lug water bottle carrier. Did you see this by any chance?
I can't say that I did.
Okay. So you know the lug bags that were like popular?
Love them.
Okay. Anyway, you can put like your water bottle in this bag, and there's like a little front pouch in front of where you can put like keys, wallets, phones, etc. So it serves as kind of like a purse. It's not okay. It's kind of better than the bags they have at Universal with the Freestyle cup holders. You know, they have the strap on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are just kind of more expensive version of that with actual like storage inside of it. And it's like a string, it's tie string in the front. So it looks kind of like a purse, but you put your water bottle in. It's mainly for that.
Okay.
But it's there.
That sounds handy.
This is handy. And the lug bag is for Spike the Bee. It has its own actual lug bag that they have at all festivals. And then the Alice in Wonderland items are really cute. I talked about the mouse ears a couple of weeks back when they gave a little sneak peek, and there's beautiful beautiful. But I'm not going to go through every single item because that would be exhausting. But we will see this all on Friday. So if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, look for the stories, look for our posts there. Or if you don't, follow us there. Captain Magic.
Yes. And if you're watching the video version of the show, I'll have some image overlays on this. Some of the stuff you can see. So
Ooh.
I do that sometimes.
Lucky you.
Because I care.
You do care.
All right. The next thing you can do at the International Flower and Garden Festival is photo pass and magic shots.
That's right. There's always photo pass opportunities, photographers out there taking pictures. There's special magic shots they'll have every year. The new one this year is Figment Topiary in a flower pot, which I feel like we did something. We had Orange Bird last year. It was Orange Bird in a flower pot?
I don't recall.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what we had last year because I remember a flower pot. But I think this one is the Figment one this year. So that's one of the new ones, but you can always look around and ask.
There's always photo pass photographers out. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. You can always ask them too if they have a magic shot or something. And sometimes they show up in your app. Sometimes they take a while.
Yeah.
Depends.
Sometimes. Yep.
Yeah. They also have, which ever since they kind of, I guess the Epcot overhaul on Spaceship Earth, they have the light show. So they have the Encanto light show and the Pocahontas show on Spaceship Earth. And this happens in the evening, like when it gets dark, and it'll run every 15 minutes.
I think it's 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes, yeah.
Is it 15?
Maybe 10, 15.
Maybe it's 20.
It's not a very long
It's
show.
20. It's 20.
It's 20?
It's 20.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. It's 20 minutes, and they circulate. So like it'll be Encanto, then Pocahontas, then the regular Epcot show.
Yes. So you can check that out. It's a short thing
Yeah.
to sit out there and see them. So it's a cool thing to do on Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
So you can check that out. And then I think that's really all of the major aspects. I mean, obviously the big thing is the food, which we talked about last week. That's always the major like center point of it, the topiaries and things like that.
Yeah.
So for those that are going to go, maybe you've never been and you're wondering what's the best way to, go about the festival, we have some tips. You could call them pro tips.
Call them pro tips.
Because we've been to a lot of these.
Sure.
So one thing you can do that even we do when we go is pick up a festival passport. So it's going to tell you all of the locations of the food, every outdoor kitchen, merchandise locations, all the little points of interest.
Scavenger hunts.
I think they even brought back the Uncrustables, the free peanut butter and jelly Uncrustables they're giving out this year.
Yes. If you go by Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday after 11 a.m., you can get a free Uncrustable, strawberry or raspberry, until supplies last. And they will run out.
Those are the worst flavors.
Yes.
That's why they're giving them away. Nobody wants them.
You want the grape ones, I'm guessing.
I mean, every time you say jelly, it's grape. Anything else, I just don't like other jellies personally.
But yeah, the passport is mostly the outdoor kitchens, but it does have information about other stuff that's available. So
yeah. The other thing you can do, there is the WDW Food and Wine app.
So that's what it's called, but it's the festival app.
I feel like they should rename that.
Yeah.
It's not a Disney. It's not a Disney app.
It's not owned by Disney. So when you go into the App Store or whatever, search for WDW Food and Wine, and it'll bring this up, and it's like silver with a little red, I think fork and spoon in front, I think. And it contains a map and locations of all the outdoor kitchens, as well as a list of what's available in each outdoor kitchen and the pricing. So there's also allergens, there's sensitivities listed if it's vegan, if it's on the Disney dining plan. So it's very comprehensive, I guess. List.
You can also see images, like people will upload images of the food.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what they show in the pictures and what it looks like is sometimes a little different. So you can at least see if it's something that, this looks like something I would like to try and things like that. Do they have, I don't think they have reviews in there, do they?
They do.
They do have reviews
They
now?
do. People can leave reviews. So if there's a particular dish that you're wanting to try and you're just like, oh, I'm not sure, you can go in and see what people have said. It's a great app. So if you haven't downloaded this or used it, I highly encourage you to. And it does update for every festival. So like I opened it up today and it asked me if I wanted to look at the 2025 Flower and Garden Festival. I was like, oh yes, I do. Click, and then it takes me to that. And it does store prior festivals inside the app. So you can go back and look at last year's or year before and see how it's different or whatever. So
it's pretty handy.
It's pretty handy. So I highly encourage you download that. It's very helpful.
I mean, it gives you more information than the Disney app does. For sure.
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the little things like that. So
Yeah.
one thing you can do if you're going to go do the food booths,
Mm-hmm.
it can be annoying, like pulling out credit card, debit card every single time.
Yep.
You can get either they have those festival gift card bracelets you can get,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just get. I mean, you can go get like the gift cards and load them onto this one as well. So if you have a pass one, but having the bracelet thing is kind of nice. You can just hand it to them, and you can just, if you want to set a budget and say we're going to spend $50 and just use it that way. And if you have other gift cards, like so, I think you have how much do you have to buy when you get it?
$15
$15 you put on it to get
Mm-hmm.
it, and then you can go into the Disney gift card app, and you can always, like, if you got some discounted gift cards, like say like Costco or Sam's Club or something like that, you can transfer them. You know, you can transfer amounts over to that gift card once you register it.
DisneyGiftCard.com.
I think so.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just register it, put it in there, and that's a good. I mean, it's a nice way to not have to pull out, your wallet every single time.
And it's a souvenir at the end of the festival.
True.
Like, I had
You could
this.
wear that around the house.
Like, sure.
It's like It's Always Sunny about like the Dave and Buster's card. It's like, you can't use it anywhere else. I know, I've tried. Like, you can try using it other places. It's probably not going to work.
But what you said also about setting a budget, this is really good. I encourage if you're wanting to go to food or flower and garden and not spend too much, this is a really easy way to keep within your budget. Because like you said, if you want to spend only $50, like that's your maximum you're going to spend, do this instead of like scanning your Magic Band if you're staying on property. That you're just going to get into trouble with that because it's just scanned and you're done. If you have that gift card, you know how much is on it, and then it'll give you a total on the receipt of what's left on the gift card. You can it's easier to track. I'm just saying.
Yes. Well, and like you can use that app, find, say there's 5 booths you want to try, have a game plan going in, and then you can, utilize your time and the budget a little bit more. Do it that way. So, yeah, it's always a good idea.
Always. And also this isn't really a tip, but it is kind of because you may overlook it unless you're looking for it. The trash cans out for the festival are themed this year. So there's some that are themed to Spike the Bee and some that are themed to Orange Bird. Like full on themed on the entire trash can.
Well, they're trash cans and also tables in which you can eat from.
Do you think that's why I did that?
It may be.
Oh, that's so funny. Probably. It's like, well, if you want to take pictures now, look, here's my my table of Spike the Bee trash can.
I mean, it's an ongoing joke, but it's pretty true.
That's
if it's
probably
busy,
right.
You're going to be eating from a trash can probably.
That's probably true. It's probably true. And the last of the tips we have today, I would say visit Living with the Land. And you're going to see some festival touches to the attraction like Moana, Princess and the Frog, and Rapunzel. And they've got like flower displays and using some of the fruits and vegetables and stuff. It's pretty cute.
And it's a good place to take a good nap.
As Jared
if you
does.
need a nap. One thing I would say, if you're going to the festival, you're trying to find a time that maybe is not as busy. Obviously, when most of the booths open like at 11.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if you get to the booths right when they open, there's going to be less crowds. Fridays, if you're there in the evening, it's going to get really busy because the locals come a lot, especially weekends. So if you can do the festival during the week, that's going to be the less crowd. Like, there's not going to be many crowds as there is like Fridays and the weekends. So that's always something to keep in mind because it can get, especially in the evening times, you will have very long lines of basically like all the booths.
Yeah, during the week before 2, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
Your lines won't be too long. Saturdays, if you can avoid Saturdays, I very much would. It's Saturdays during a festival, and if the weather's nice, forget about it.
I was going to say.
You're going to have long lines. You're going to have shoulder to shoulder people in World Showcase. Sometimes outdoor kitchens run out of food because it's so busy. It just depends, but just manage expectations, I guess.
Yeah, if it's especially lately, the weather's getting nicer. A lot of people, a lot of it is locals that just come, and you're gonna have a lot of people. So
yeah.
Well, and looking at the World Showcase, Mexico's always going to be busy. So's France. Germany's pretty busy as well. Mm-hmm. It comes out. Do you go left or you go right when you get to World Showcase? When you go through the main, walk entranceway, I kind of tend. I don't. There's not a right answer to it. You're just gonna have a lot of people in Mexico.
Always
the case. So sometimes going right and going in that way, like toward Canada, sometimes you can just make your way that way, and you will have a little bit less crowds. sometimes going that way. But I mean, if it's a busy day, it's a busy day. But overall, Mexico's always a very, very popular location.
Well, it's unfortunate the way it was built for crowds, because all of the places to eat or drink are, except for, obviously San Helen and La Cava that's inside, everything else is like on the walkway.
Yeah.
And not all the other ones in the other countries are like that. Most of the countries, you actually go into the country before you actually get anything. But I don't know.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, there's just, it's there's not a lot of, I guess you could say, hacks. It's just very much like less crowds are going to be during the week. Evening time's going to be busier. If you got a budget, get a gift card, makes it a lot easier. Stuff like that. And I would say use the app, like if you're not sure, because the stuff is getting more expensive. So like sometimes back when it was like $5-6 for, some of the dishes are still that price, but you start talking like $8, $9, $10 for a dish. If you're iffy on something, see what some other people have said about it. It may not be something that you want to try, but
thinking about lines just real quick for the festival. So the lines in America get very long. I feel like anytime I go to a festival now, I'm waiting at least 20, 25 minutes in America.
It can
every time. So a good strategy, if you want to do this, is to be back there in America, since it's like at the back of the park. Make your way there, closer to when the outdoor kitchen's open, and you won't wait as long. So if you start the back of World Showcase and then make your way around, you might see less crowds that way instead of like starting at the front of World Showcase.
Very true.
That is a good
Very
strategy.
true. Any other tips that you have?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we can talk about the new stuff that we do or anything else we think of while we're there Friday.
Yes,
and we'll talk about next week.
Yeah, we'll be taking a day trip on Friday to check out the festival. So we'll have some more insight on it next week. But it's always a good time. It's always a good time. I guess it's the beginning of spring. We're out of winter, not technically, but spiritually or I don't know, mentally, it is now spring.
I mean, yes, it'll be like 75 when we're there, and it's going to feel amazing.
It feels very spring-like. That's true.
Yes.
So. Well, I think that is going to do it for the show today. Be sure to check us out on social media. It is at Cap the Magic everywhere. So be sure to check us out. Like I said, Jamie will be updating Instagram with stories while we're there on Friday. So you can always, anytime we're at the parks, Disney or Universal, it's always a good place to go because Jamie updates the stories if you want to see some highlights of things before we talk about them on the show. And also be sure to check out over on YouTube, obviously CTM podcast video versions of the show you can catch over there. And the I guess the main YouTube channel at Cap the Magic there. I do 1 to 2 videos per day on different theme parks, pop culture topics. Just hit 10,000 subs over there, so it's going well over there. So if you haven't subscribed there, go check that out. And of course, we have some other shows on the network. We have the CTM Universal show where we talk about Universal Studios, and we had an episode kind of on Monday where we talked all about all the latest Epic Universe news, and basically it was just all new stuff coming out from Universal, as there's a lot coming out. So that currently is twice a month. That is going to be a weekly show here very soon in the next few months as Epic Universe opens, and there's a lot more stuff to talk about over there. So you can catch it. It has its own podcast feed. We're actually going to, once we go weekly, we're going to move that show to where we're not going to put it on the main feed here. So this feed will just, if you're watching or you're listening to this on the podcast feed, this will end up being just the Disney one, the main feed there, and then the Universal show will be on its own feed, which it has its own feed now, so you can go check that out. So we'll separate those out once on the podcast side. On the YouTube side, it's all gonna be on the same thing, but on the podcast side, we'll separate those out once we go weekly there. And then Jamie has Trip Tales, which are a trip report show.
Yep, I'll have a new episode on the 17th, I believe. And so if you want to be a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com, fill out the information about your trip, and if I'm interested in your trip for the show, I will contact you by email.
There you go. Sounds good.
That's right.
And of course, if you want even more content, you want to contribute to the show, you want to be part of a cool group, you want to get some insights on trips or tips or advice, you can check out Club 32, and that's our private group, like our own little Patreon we have, where we have additional content, like weekly live streams over there. We have some cooking live streams, Cool Kids Kitchen. We have a private podcast feed that's got all the content on there, plus music loops sing like in Disney or Universal. If you want to hear like the theme music walking into Magic Kingdom or Islands of Adventure, whatever it is, we have that on there so you can listen to it at your leisure whenever you'd like. All right, well that's going to do it for the show. So thank you everybody for listening and or watching, and thank you Jamie for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.